So I've been in the RV industry for over 30 years, and I've been asked a lot of questions about freshwater drinking hoses. Well, maybe it seems like a lot. Maybe it's the same question over and over again, or the same few questions. I'm not sure. But anyway, I've answered the same or new questions a zillion times. I've been asked it all, I've heard it all, I've seen it all when it comes to freshwater drinking hoses. Now, you might think that's crazy. It's just a hose. Well, you know what? Seasoned RVers have ruined hoses when they didn't need to. They misused it. People just getting into the RV industry, bought their first RV. It's all new to them. They got questions. So I'm going to answer these questions today. We're going to talk about the quality of hoses, how to buy the right one, and also some basics on hooking it up. But the three questions we're going to answer today is, why do I need a special hose? Which one to buy? There's so many choices. You got blue ones. You've got white ones. You've got different shades of white, different shades of blue. You got kinky ones. So we're going to figure that out. And finally, we're going to show you how to hook up a water hose. Yeah, you might think that's ridiculous. This guy's off his rocker. Like I said, seasoned RVers have ruined perfectly good water hoses because they've hooked them up wrong. Hey everybody, I'm Eric Stark, the host of the Smart RVer podcast, presenting another Fast Tip Friday. So let's open up the valve, so to speak, and see what comes out. So now, you got to have a special hose. It's a must-have. Now, remember when you're younger, out screwing around in the yard, or maybe when you're older, out working in the yard, you see this nasty hose laying next to the house, this green hose, everybody's got one. Look at this one. The end's been replaced probably a dozen times. Things stiff as can be. And you're thirsty. You don't want to go in the house. Maybe you can't get in the house. You're a little kid. You locked yourself out. Whatever. Mom and Dad said, stay outside and don't come in until the sun comes down. So you want some water. So you see this hose that has been laying out in the sun for hours. Cooking in the sun. Dirt in it, worms, whatever. And you go over there, though. You're smart, though. You say, I'm not going to drink that water that comes out first. I'm going to turn on the valve, let the water run for a minute, and get the dirty water out and get to the clean water. Well, you know what? Even that clean water tastes like overheated vomit. Let's be real. You're going to suck on this thing, you're going to be drinking vomit. You know it. So you're not going to do it unless you have to. Well, that's the same thing for an RV. If you hook this thing up to your RV and use it for water, your water is going to have that nice, subtle hint of vomit in it. You don't want that. That's why we go with these hoses that are made for RVs. They don't have that taste. They're tasteless. They're food-grade hoses. So that's what you want. You don't want overheated vomit coming out of that green hose out of the yard. Sucker's out of here, right? You want nice, fresh water. Doesn't that just inspire you to drink out of it because it's fresh and clean? Hey, you're still not going to drink out of the hose anymore, right? We're not animals. Yeah, sometimes we are. So let's talk about the different quality hoses. Now, we're going to start with the lower end of good. This is the Aquaflex made by Teknor Apex. This is not your high-end hose. It's just the basic hose. Now, it's not the cheapest hose you could probably get at an RV store, and I emphasize that, at an RV store. This is the Teknor Apex here. These are short little hoses. You know, they burn, they're stiff, they're wiry. Not the greatest hose. The ends aren't really high-tech. They're not quality. It's just a basic starter hose, if you will. You buy a new RV and they give you a starter kit. Probably got something comparable to this in it. Actually, more like this because it's only like 5 feet long or 6 feet long. Useless, but that's what they give you in an RV starter kit. You can thank dealerships for that. So stay away from this hose. That's what I recommend, unless it's just budget driven or you have a specific purpose, or reason to buy a very inexpensive hose. Next on the line, Teknor Apex Never Kink. Now that word never kink, you know, you got to take that with a grain of salt because this hose has a kink right here. And this isn't the first new never kink hose I've seen with a kink in it. But it's still a good hose. It's a thicker hose. Got a nice end on here. So this looks like a plastic end. And, well, it is. It doesn't look, it is. But inside of it is brass. So this is like brass reinforced with plastic. Makes it a little harder to break. Still not, it's still plastic. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit of both. Hybrid. So it's good. Pros and cons to that. But it's not a bad hose, but it's a nice big fitting here. Easy to hang on to and turn, especially if you got arthritis, hand problems. It's a good hose. And this one has a lifetime warranty, I believe. And it's guaranteed not to kink or tangle. So take that with a grain of salt. These hoses do kink. They will tangle. Especially when it's colder out. Colder weather, all these hoses change. They become like pieces of wire. But in the sun, it's going to work good. Most camping is done in the summertime. So this is just a good hose. That's what it is. And, you know, you got to go by experience. Maybe you've been buying this hose, you absolutely love it, then stick with it. Unless you're having problems. So then change it up. Now, that's good hose. Then we're going to get to the Camco Taste Pure. Now, this is a better hose. It's a thicker hose. It just functions well. It's kink resistant. You know, they don't guarantee it's never going to kink. But it's kink resistant. It has nice stainless steel fittings on the end, which I do like. It has these springs here, which kind of help support it. But these ends are going to hold up better than the brass. The brass does have a tendency of tweaking out of shape, wearing out, leaking right here. This hose does great. So this would be a better hose. Now we get to the best. To me, it comes down between the Teknor Apex 0G hose. Yeah, this thing looks ugly, right? This is how it looks in the box. Or the Camco Evo Flex. Both of these hoses fall into the best category. Now let's start with the 0G. Stainless steel fittings. It has this nice protective sleeve on it. It doesn't have any bad taste in it. It is made for RVs. They do have a residential version as well, which is actually what I use at my home. I like the hose other than it does kink, and you have to kind of get it just so to get the kinks out of it. This hose is not really designed for anything other than watering or adding or supplying water to your RV. That's about it. I wouldn't use it for anything beyond that. These other hoses you could, you know, fake and use for other things. But this one I wouldn't. Now this one does have a warranty just like the rest of them do. And now the Camco Evo Flex. This is a very nice hose, stainless steel ends. And this one actually has little thumb deals on there to make it easier to put on and off. It has the reinforcement spring here, so adds a little reinforcement to it. It's a nice hose, light blue. If you don't like light blue, this ain't the hose for you. Nice hose though. So this is the best. So the 0G, the Camco Evo Flex fall into the best category. They all have a warranty of some sort. And you know, if you spend 60 bucks, 70 bucks for a hose, you might want to go for that warranty if you do have a problem with it. You know, sometimes these warranties are a hassle. They're not worth the time. You know, if a hose fails, you know, a few days after you buy it, you can probably just take it back to the store where you purchased it. That's right, the store, a physical store. You buy it online, forget it. You know, they'll do something for you maybe. But you're probably just going to have another one because it's going to be a cheap, lame hose because that's what you buy online anymore at these massive marketplaces. But stick with the good hoses. When you go to the RV store, hopefully they have it organized in something like that. Good, better, best. We actually have signage on our shelves showing which is good, better, best. So you're not confused. And the price ranges reflect that. So if you're buying by price, you're probably going to be in the good category. If you're buying by quality, you're going to be in the best category. Maybe the better category, but more likely the best. And the hoses do last that way. If you buy a good hose, you're going to get some life out of it, some years. You buy a better hose, you're going to get more years out of it. You buy the best hose, you're not going to have to worry about it for a long time, unless you lose it or ruin it on your own. Okay, so that makes it simple. Just good, better, best. There are differences. Now, one thing that you will see when you go to stores, you'll find like 1/2 inch inside diameter on the hose versus 5/8. There's not really a big difference in the flow. You're not going to notice it in most RV applications. It's just going to be water going into the RV. So if you have a 1/2 inch hose, don't feel like you got to get rid of it to buy a 5/8 hose. Or if you have a 5/8 hose and some reason I got to get down to that 1/2 inch, man, that's my goal. That's my what I got to do. Don't worry about it. You're fine with the 5/8. No big deal. Like I said, you probably won't notice the difference. Now, here's something you need to know, though. When you're hooking up your RV, you got to do it right. And I say that because I've seen countless hoses exploding because they're hooked up wrong. Now, okay, Eric, what do you mean by that? Okay, let's pretend this is your RV. So this is the city water hookup on your RV, right? So we're going to pretend your RV's here. Now, this is pretend, make believe. There's no RV here. So this is the city water hookup. This is your water filter. It could be either here, or you could have it sitting on the ground in a canister, or even this type. You know, you don't have to use a short hose. It could be on the ground. It could be over here as well. You could put it wherever you want, as long as it's before the RV, right? You're filtering the water going to the RV. So that's pretty straightforward. Now we got a short little hose here going to our water faucet, the city water hookup, your house, whatever it is, wherever you're hooked up to. And you have the hose that hooks up here. Pretty simple. And this is a water pressure regulator. This goes on the hose bib or the faucet or whatever you want to call it. That goes there first, then the hose or your filter. But this does not go on the side of the RV. You want to protect the water hose. It's not going to affect anything negative downline. Put this here. And that way, when you leave the RV park, you'll take this off and forget this and leave it for the next guy who comes along. Just kidding. Happens all the time, though. Remember to take this off the hose bib or the city water hookup, whatever you want to call it, the faucet, the water thingy at the park. Remember to take that off, unless you like buying new ones all the time. So there you go. That's it. And when you buy water pressure regulators, buy a brand. Buy it from your local RV store. Don't buy one of them cheapies online for $9 or a plastic one or a super crazy expensive one. Just get a regular water pressure regulator. It keeps between 50 and 55 PSI. They work fine. You can get adjustable ones as well. But buy a brand like Valterra, a brand that's well known, Camco. And I push that because there's so much garbage coming out on the market anymore, like everything. And the low quality stuff doesn't work. This is your RV you're protecting. This is your RV that you're feeding water to. That's your baby, man. Take care of it. It wants to be taken care of. Show it some love. Now also, remembering here, if you tug on this hose, the whole thing moves, huh? So anyways, if you tug on this hose, there's a tendency of these brass fittings to separate right there. And it'll create a water leak. So just keep that in mind. It's just like at home. You're washing your car and you yank on the hose, and all of a sudden you got a water leak there. Same thing. So you're typically not going to do that with a freshwater hose. Just keep that in mind. Now stick with the brands. You got Camco. You got Teknor Apex. Valterra is another brand. I don't carry Valterra hoses in my store. In fact, I had to go steal this one from a store down the road. I don't even carry this one in the store. I try to stick with the better stuff, okay? But Teknor Apex, Camco, Valterra, any one of those three. I mean, there might be another brand of stores carrying some that they love and they adore, and that's fine if they can stand behind it and it's really a good quality hose. But make sure you ask them, good, better, best. I don't know if I'd ask them what they recommend. They're just going, yeah, this one over here because it's the most expensive, you know? They're going to look at your car in the parking lot. Oh, over here, it's the least expensive. I don't know how they're going to do it. But you need to make that decision. Look at the warranty. The warranties are kind of a hassle. So You know, if you want to fight that, go for it, but just choose a good brand. Now, a lot of people ask me what hose I use. Yeah, that's right. They come in, Eric, what hose do you use? It's such curiosity. I just love it. Well, this is my favorite, the Camco EvoFlex. This is the one I use. I've had no problems with it. Using it for years. Same hose. Just a good hose. It works. It doesn't kink. Nice hose. Flexible, lightweight, works perfect for me. And I can have my pick of any of these hoses, and that's the one I pick. I like that hose. All right, so now that you know a little bit more about water hoses, you're the RV park expert now. You can help others, your fellow RVers. So if you like what you heard, please hit the like and subscribe button. And thanks for stopping by, and I will see you in the next video.